if you watch professional Valorant, you might have noticed one key detail. A lot of people seem to prefer playing with the Phantom over the Vandal. And when you see side switches, you see a lot of times the offensive team actually start picking up Vandals a little bit more, and then the defense team start playing a little bit more with Phantoms, which might make sense. But at the other side, I see a lot of people confused about the fact that isn't Phantoms better on offensive? You know, if you're gonna smoke, you're gonna push in with flashes and stuff like that. Isn't it better to play with a Phantom and then rather pick up the Vandal on defensive side, right? So you can actually pick off those players that are trying to push into the site. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why the Phantom seems to be the preferred choice, and therefore, if you can say it like that, the best gun in Valorant, and why you maybe should start playing with it a little bit more in your games. Oh, beautiful, lovely gamers, as always, my name is Jonal. Of course, a like on the video, commenting, and subscribing to the channel greatly helps out. It really helps out a lot since I'm skipping from Overwatch over more to Valorant content, and the YouTube algorithm doesn't really like it. There's a lot of people that arguably are subscribed to me for Overwatch content don't want to click on these videos, and therefore they get suppressed, as it seems like no one is interested in them. I also made a couple other videos, if you're interested. How to actually counter Reyna is an amazing guide if you're tired of getting absolutely ass fucked by an ulting Reyna every round. And the 4 secret op tricks is good if you want to try to implement a little bit more op stuff into your gameplay. On top of that, I am currently streaming on Twitch, link down in the description, twitch.tv /Jonal_OW. I'm playing some ranked games in Valorant right now as this video is live, and probably for some good hours after. So stop by, say hi, have a chat, and yeah, that's all. Now I'll try to get quickly into the topic of why the Phantom is being played more than the Vandal, and it simply just comes down to this: the Vandal has far more one trick properties, you could say. Like, it's really good at one thing, and compared to the Phantom, it's just not as good in general. And that's really it. When we look at the two different guns, we see something very easily. First, of course, we all know this. The Phantom has a faster fire rate than the Vandal, and the Phantom, on the other hand, can, even with his faster fire rate, cannot one-shot headshot at most ranges. Now, what is most ranges? If you are 15 meters or further away from a Phantom player, he cannot one-shot you. And how much is 15 meters in Valorant? Well, it's quite simple. If you're pushed out into gardens and you try to shoot at elbow, you most likely won't be able to hit it unless he is like hugging the wall closest to you on closest to the shed around elbow, and you are hugging the wall on garden. Then you will be able to one-tap him in the head. But for a lot and most engagements that are at somewhat of a range, you won't be able to one-shot headshot with your Phantom. Unless you're up close and personal, that just won't happen. So, that's kind of already known. The Phantom has 5 more rounds in the magazine compared to the Vandal. The Phantom has a faster fire rate, but can't always one-shot to the head. And the Vandal can one-shot to the head at any ranges, but has a slower fire rate. And that's the end of the video, right? But why is the Phantom then so much better? You would think that professional players would go for one-shot, headshot any day of the week, right? Like, imagine if you had an aimbot, right? Would you pick the Phantom, which, you know, if you headshot him and he headshots you at equal time, you lose that? Or would you pick the Vandal, where if you headshot one, then you will always one-shot? If he has an op, if he's across the fucking map, if he's playing Counter-Strike and you headshot him with your Vandal, he will still die. Why would you pick the Phantom any day over the week? And I'll show you why. And it's quite simple. The Phantom allows, with its faster fire rate, to be better at closer ranges, better at taking on multiple opponents. It's easier to transfer the spray. It is easier to gun down, just keep on pumping damage in, meaning you can easily take out one opponent and then transfer easily to another. It's relatively easy to do on a Phantom compared to a Vandal. And especially with that faster fire rate, if they're smoking, if they're pushing, right? So if you're playing defensive side and they're pushing in, they're dropping smokes, they're dropping flashes, they're nading you and silver darts and everything, having that faster fire rate and being able to quickly dump a bunch of bullets into one and then move it to another, that is some flexibility that you don't have. And pro players don't have aimbot. They will whiff shots, so they'll whiff their first. And the fact that you can easily kind of transfer over to another, and the fact that you have so fast fire rate that you can just kind of keep pumping bullets, giving you a higher chance that some of your bullets will hit that headshot, makes it much better. It is much more comfortable at most of those ranges. But what about the one-shot potential? And now the one-shot potential is quickly eliminated when you can easily fire 2 rounds from a Phantom without too much effort. Now, if you start firing a lot of rounds from a Phantom, especially at greater distances, then the spread starts going all over the place. So again, taking a long range engagements and long range duels isn't ideal when you're playing with a Phantom. But if you're going for, again, you just need to hit 1 headshot and a body shot. The worst damage model of a Phantom is 124 for a headshot and 31 to the body, which gives you 155 damage, which still is enough to kill anyone. So if it's because of the fire rate of the Phantom is so much greater than the Vandal, doesn't matter. You hit a headshot, you hit a follow-up shot, and which is relatively easy with the fire rate of the gun. Yeah, sure. And the fact that you can fire consistently, like 2-3 rounds, easily, without too much like movement on the gun because of the spread, of the first spread accuracy, then yeah, sure. Then why wouldn't you? It is really good at closer ranges and medium ranges, even though it can't always one-shot to the head. And it can still do its job at longer distances. So when you're playing defensive, of course you would pick a Phantom, because a lot of time they will smoke you off, or they will push, you will smoke the choke, and you'll play these aggressive cheeky angles. A lot of time you will be outnumbered by opponents. So faster fire rate, easy to take out multiple opponents. Well, that's great. So why would you play the Vandal on offense? Well, that's also quite simple. A lot of time, you will be forced to take longer duels, right? You can't just run into sight unless you're playing like Iron and Bronze, which in that case, do whatever the fuck, right? Because it's Iron and Bronze. But you can't just run into the sight. You'll get gunned down for like 18 angles, right? Your mom will be in the corner with a fucking frying pan throwing it at your head because you didn't flash and smoke all the angles and clear it all with your gun. So because of that, a lot of time offensive takes a little bit more time, right? It's like, okay, finding out where the defense is, kind of clearing some of these ranges from longer, kind of isolating angles, clearing those with your gun, and being able to quickly just fire 1 bullet and 1 tapping is incredible at that games. That's why you would pick the Vandal. Also, a lot of time, you'll see people play for mid control. Let's say, for example, mid control on Ascent. Right? If you're playing there, right, you want to be able to just like quickly one-tap somebody, because it comes really down to this. The Phantom is really flexible. It's really good at closer ranges when you have to like fight for control over the site, when it actually comes to multiple opponents, and you are really good at that, and it still works really well at longer distances. However, when you have a Vandal, you will have an advantage at longer distances. Now, I would argue for, and this is kind of what a lot of people would probably back up, that the advantages of the Vandal, meaning the advantages that you gain from longer range fights, is outweighed by how good, essentially how good the Phantom is at both closer ranges and medium ranges, and that it still challenges the Vandal player at longer ranges. Essentially, the benefits of the Phantom greatly outweigh the benefits of the Vandal. However, there are still a lot of scenarios, and again, it comes down to the players as well, right? Because in the end, this is Valorant. If you are Scream and you can one-tap, anyone from across fucking Mars, then great, right? Then give him a Phantom. If you had an aimbot, then take a Phantom. Right? This is the gun that you want, because you can just one-tap and you will always win. You will always win those duels, no matter the range. But for majority of the people, the flexibility of the fact that it's good at medium range, it's good at closer range, it's good if you're getting smoked, if you're getting pushed, if you're pushing someone, you can use it at medium to longer ranges because of its incredible like first shot accuracy, and because of the fact that you just need to do a quick follow-up, and because you have insane fire rate, making a follow-up is relatively easy. And again, if your teammates it does a little bit of damage to the guy, then you don't even need to do a follow-up, then it's a 1 kill anyway, because as long as they've taken 10 damage, you're probably good. So in those scenarios, the Phantom is just insane. But then there's those small scenarios, right? when, for example, you're pushing out here from bind, right? And you want to push in, and all the time, you know, there'll be smokes or there'll be slow ups, and you kind of have to clear it. At that point, you a lot of time would be comfortable being able to know that all you need to do is one single bullet. That's all you need to get. One single bullet to the head, and you will get that kill. So, if, for example, if there's an opper holding here, you know, if you hit one bullet to him, he just dies. And that's it. You just need to hit that one bullet, and he will die. But if you're playing with a Phantom, you know that it doesn't matter. You hit one bullet, and unless you manage to hit a follow-up, which can be really difficult in a lot of scenarios, right? You're getting stressed. There's a utility. You know, you're stressed about shooting really fast because, again, you hesitate a second. The opera just one-taps you. So if you're in those scenarios, then playing with a Phantom sounds horrible. And that's kind of the mentality. The Phantom has just a lot of advantages that makes it a really flexible, really strong gun. And that doesn't make the Vandal a bad gun. It doesn't mean that you should never pick up the Vandal. And you should play with the Vandal, especially if you have the aim or you like that gun much better. But there are clearly some advantages to it when it comes to that range, when it comes to that flexibility with just knowing that all you need is just tap fire and hit a headshot and then you're good. But when it comes down to it, the great thing about the Phantom is just multiple opponents, spread, still good at longer ranges. It just kind of brings everything really nicely, making it a very powerful and incredibly flexible gun. And that's why it's preferred by a lot of players because of that. Because, well, you can just gun someone down really fast and you can still play close on sight and you can still play medium ranges. And no matter what, you're probably in a really good spot. And if they play with a Vandal, sure, they'll have an advantage at those longer ranges. But the advantage is not that much. It is essentially, if they manage to shoot before you and hit you in the head, then you will die, and there's not much you could do about it. If you guys trade one bullet each, you will still die. But if you manage to fire 2 bullets with rapid succession, or you have any follow-up from a teammate, or he's taken any damage from any utility, then you will win. So, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. Again, liking, commenting, sharing the video around. Greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Discord, Twitter, and Twitch, all that good stuff down in the description. But I'll stop rambling and let you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do take care of, stay positive. Tell somebody that you love them. Remember to take care of yourself. My name is Jonal, and you guys keep the enemy in your crosshair.